Welcome all. I'm Julia Beyer. I am an SOC career advisor, and I'm happy to welcome you to the webinar today on using LinkedIn effectively. This is a very important tool today during these tricky times of the pandemic, and I want to show you how you can make your profile strong and ready for the job search, and how you can use the tool to also explore career options and interests. So because I've worked with communication students, I'm very accustomed to talking about branding online. And this is a very important part of the jobs or internship search today. So the five main areas we're going to be covering today is: 1, strengthening your LinkedIn profile; 2, growing and nurturing your network; 3, brainstorming different career options; 4, conducting an effective job search; and then 5th, I added LinkedIn learning. Some statistics. So why is it important to use LinkedIn today in your job search? Applicants are nearly 3 times more likely to get a job at a company where they have connections. Critically important to network now more than ever before. Applicants are 4 times more likely to be hired through your network, emphasizing again the importance of networking. 70% of employers said they'd use social media to screen candidates. And of course, LinkedIn is not the only platform they use. Any other social platform is something that they'd be looking at potentially. And then 47% of companies are less likely to interview candidates if they can't be found online. So regardless of what you're studying right now, having a presence online is critically important. And LinkedIn is a great way to do that because it's strictly professional. There's no in between with it being personal / professional like some of the other platforms. So that's why it's great to use this platform above all the others, although you can use the others to network as well, because it is a great platform to maintain that professional online presence. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to jump a little bit between different resources I have here. The first is the LinkedIn profile checklist, and I will share this in the chat before we leave today, but you can also just Google LinkedIn profile checklist and come up with this resource. So I share this with all my students because this is the most comprehensive handout I have to share all the different sections of the profile on LinkedIn. And the 3 most important ones are actually the ones that you see here that begin the profile, including a professional photo here, headshot, which, as this description says, doesn't have to be done with a professional photographer, but if you can get some natural lighting or have on a nice sunny day, a friend take a photo of you looking, with a smile on your face, looking approachable, it can be very helpful. And so having a professional photo, having a targeted headline under your name, do not leave it at student at American University. So if you could be a little bit more specific, you could potentially include your major or what you aspire to do, or sometimes people include in that headline professional skill sets or interest areas. So don't feel boxed into having that professional headline just be your job or internship title. It can be other keywords that depend on who you're trying to reach, who your audience is. So think very strategically about your professional headline. And then 3rd, having what we call now an about section, or what they used to call a summary. And so the purpose of that section is sort of like an elevator pitch. You want to say a little bit about your past, what you're currently doing, and what you hope to do in the future. So those are 3 main things that you want to hit on in that elevator or pitch or story. What is the purpose of that? It's because people are looking through your profile and they're trying to understand all the things that you've done and how it relates to what you want to do in the future. So try to connect the dots for the recruiter or the employers visiting your profile, and share a story about yourself. Make the connection for them about why you are qualified for that position or that field or industry that you're interested in going into. So that's why it's really important to have sort of a story there, which some people skip over, but it's a missed opportunity to clarify what your interests are. So having a summary there is very important. What makes LinkedIn even better than the resume is that you can actually share samples of your work, not just tell people what you've done, but link to samples. This could be presentations, it could be an article you wrote, or a video, or a blog post that you wrote. So anything is fair game as far as potential samples that you can add to the profile, which is a great thing to think about as you're stepping through college, to brainstorm what are potential samples that you could maybe share publicly on your LinkedIn profile. Because it's just a great way to demonstrate what you can actually do. And then as you can see, the LinkedIn profile, it's not just limited to experiences, but also organizations that you're involved in, volunteer experiences and causes, honors and awards, courses, projects. So sometimes people think like, I don't have enough experience to have a LinkedIn profile. Probably not the case. If I sat down and met with you, I'm sure all of you would have potential experiences, including volunteer or courses or projects that you can add. Obviously, this does not have to be strictly work experiences. It can be volunteering, unpaid, class projects, anything you could also add to your resume. And I think of LinkedIn as complementing what you have on your resume. Does it have to mirror it exactly? It doesn't. I mean, with the resume, you're kind of limited to a page. And the advantage of LinkedIn is that you do not have to stick to a page. You can have more information there in your profile. But you don't want it to get super long either. So you do want to curate it. You do want to list the most relevant things on the LinkedIn profile, just like you do with the resume. And you want to make sure the most meaningful and relevant experiences are listed there. So I hope that gives you some ideas of all the potential things you could have in your profile. At the very bottom here, there's also the option to ask for recommendations. And this is the only part of the profile I think of where a little bit of your personality or character can come through, because it's otherwise just sort of a list of all the things that you've done. And maybe in the story at the top, you could share a little bit about your personality or character. But at the end, if you have some people who are recommending you, and by the way, you have full control over these posts going up. You have to approve the recommendations for them to be posted to your profile. And of course, the people that you ask to recommend you have to be, number one, on LinkedIn, and then number two, direct connections. So you have to be directly connected to them. But it's a great way to warm up the profile, to learn a little bit about who you are and your character. And I would definitely recommend that you brainstorm any supervisors or people that you have good working relationships with, or professors. Get them to recommend you on LinkedIn, because it's easy sort of after a certain amount of time to fall out of touch with people. But once you capture in that moment of time a recommendation on the LinkedIn profile, can stay there for quite a while and can be a nice addition to it. So that's sort of the overview right there of the whole profile. But there's many things that you can do with the LinkedIn platform. It's not just limited to your profile. And so I am just going to move on from there. So let me just pull up LinkedIn here right now. And so besides having your profile, one thing that I frequently show students is how to grow their network and how to explore different career options. So one of the best ways to start with that is to look up the American University page on LinkedIn. And I pull it up here and I see the AU page. And what I would do is click on this alumni tab first. And what this is doing is pulling not just alumni of American University, but also current students of American University, anyone who has AU in their profile. And what this is great for is to explore different careers and, you know, people you might want to network with. So overall, we have over 123,000 alumni at AU. And what are these columns? They are where they live, where they work, what they do, and what they studied. So in this search box, I can search by a specific job title. I could search by a keyword. I can search by a company name, if there's a specific company that you're interested in. And so let's, for example, just look up a keyword, finance. And so I get 18,000 something alumni who have finance in their profile. And you get a summary here, an updated summary of where they work, all the companies and organizations. But then as you scroll down, you could see the specific people who have finance in their profiles. And so I'm looking for people who potentially could be of interest to me to network with. So I'm just randomly picking on Jared. I do not know Jared, but I'm a second degree connection from him. And one thing you don't want to skip over is this hyperlink, contact info, because sometimes for Jared, it's not in his case, but sometimes people put more information in there, a contact email address there, or a Twitter handle there, or sometimes people link to a portfolio there. So you never know what additional information you can find in that contact form. Otherwise, because Jared is a second degree connection from me, I could contact him right there and add a note in 300 characters. Hi, Jared. I'm a sophomore at American University studying finance at Colgate. I'm really interested in the organization you work for. I would love to chat with you to get some more information. So reaching out for advice and to get information is valuable, particularly during these times when so many industries are shifting and going into different hiring modes. So reaching out to people is critically important. So because he's a secondary connection, I can do that. If he were a third degree connection, I would have to upgrade my account to contact him, or find another way to contact him in the contact form, or Google him somewhere else. By the way, you all who are attending today, you're welcome to connect directly with me. I'm connected to a lot of students and alumni in American University, primarily communication, but all different kinds of majors as well. So you're welcome to do that, because obviously, the more people you connect to, the more doors that will open to you, the more people you'll have second degree connections with, who you can directly contact. So as we're looking down Jared's profile, it looks like he doesn't have an about section at the top, but we see his work history, all the different kinds of experiences he's had. And so when you are looking up a specific keyword like this, such as finance, you get all kinds of ideas about where you can get experiences, where he's interned, because why reinvent the wheel? Look at other students who were in your boat and have your same interest area and major, and where did they get experience? So that can be incredibly helpful. And so let me just back up here, because that was his entire experience section. And you see how some people put a lot of information there. And you do want to curate your profile to make sure it doesn't get super long. But you see what he studied specifically. And what I was just helping a student with just prior to this webinar was we were getting ideas based on what field people were in, what they studied in school, and in addition, like what kinds of activities they did while at AU. So that can also help give you new ideas about what clubs or organizations that may or may not relate to this field. It looks like this one may be a little bit less so, but if there are any clubs in finance that potentially you could join and get involved in. And it looks like he also has a certification on his profile, and some of the skills, as well as publications, is also another section of the profile that you can add. Awards and honors, or excuse me, honors and awards. Languages, people he's following, influencers, companies, kind of like give you an idea of what companies, if you're interested in finance, you potentially might want to follow. And then groups, what groups is he in? He's in the American University Alumni Group. He's in the American University Networking Association, because of course there are a lot of potential groups you could join related to AU and or your field of interest. So there's a lot there that you could explore. Backing up here, learning from people's profiles, getting ideas of where they work, and then taking the next step to reach out and request some advice would be a good thing to do. So even if you're interested in a specific company, you can look up that specific company name there and see who works there. So as an example of that, say you're interested in Deloitte consulting company. So you click on Deloitte or search it in that search box. Here's everybody who's at Deloitte. And so you click in on a profile here, you see she's at Deloitte. She's got her Twitter handle there in her contact form. Okay, so there's different ways to follow people and connect with people. She's got her about section there to summarize the things that she's doing. And then another thing you could do is click in on the company name or look up any company in the search tool here, and you could see more information about that company. What is Deloitte? You can also look at jobs posted at that company, or it looks like there are a lot of job postings now at Deloitte. That's good to know. I don't think I've recently clicked on an organization that had this many job openings. And what's really handy is you could also click on people at Deloitte. So you can look up any company and click on this people tab and see who works there. It's like an organizational directory. Now, a little side note to that is not every single company on the planet has a LinkedIn page. So there might be some that are very small that you can't find on LinkedIn, but the majority of organizations do have presence on LinkedIn. And you can see how big Deloitte is. Huge. 372,000 something people. So very huge. And then you can see who those people are down here. Oh, here's somebody who's a campus recruiter at Deloitte. Oh, that would be a really good person to connect with, because I know she would be looking to fill some of those jobs that we saw open, the thousands of jobs that are open. So reaching out to specific recruiters who could be of assistance to you would be a good way to go, and or just an AU alum who it looks like, I'm not sure she went to AU. Nope, we're just searching the people who work at Deloitte. So that could be people from any university, really. Or you could search by, let me search by Deloitte American University. Sorry. American University. I'm like, am I spelling that right? Okay. And here we have who those people are down here. So within any company, you can look it up and look up AU people, or you could look up recruiters who work there, who you might be interested in connecting with. And so, and anytime you look up a company, you can see their affiliated pages. So if you're kind of trying to brainstorm other organizations or affiliated organizations to Deloitte to look up and connect with, that's also a good way to sort of expand your search. So I think of LinkedIn as not just putting your profile up for people to find and managing your brand that way and sharing samples of your work, but also as an opportunity to really use it as a database and drill down and try to find people who work at specific organizations who you can reach out to. Or if you want to do a very broad keyword search on a specific interest area, it could be anything. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to brainstorm. If I'm interested in economics, what kinds of careers in economics could I consider? And I do this all the time with students when they're trying to figure out how to identify different occupations related to their interests. It's not always clear, and you can't always be aware of everything that's out there and the different kinds of roles at different organizations. So that's why I think this is invaluable for career exploration, growing your network, and exploring all the kinds of careers that are related to your interests. And then taking the next proactive step and reaching out to people who could be of help to you. So I wanted to just, let's see, pull up something else here with my profile really briefly. And that is, there's the opportunity, in addition to having your about section, having a featured section. And so this pops up pretty high up on your profile. And again, you can basically feature samples of your work. I have some webinars here, some presentations I've done, but it can be, something you wrote. Some people put their resume there if they want to have like a visual of their resume. So anything that you think is important to appear high up on the profile, you could also feature there, other than embedding some of the samples of your work within your profile. Within each work experience, there's the option to link to a sample of your work. So that's something else I wanted to point out to you. And another thing is, next we're going to go to job searching. So if we go to jobs, and so it starts with this, and you put in any keyword. So this is just a recent search I did for a student who was interested in data science. So put in any keyword and location here at the top. And this is kind of similar on the way it looks on Handshake, where there's this quick snapshot of the jobs on the left here. And then you click in on, you can view more here on each individual job, all the details on this side. And then of course, here's where you can adjust, that obviously you're searching for jobs, the date it was posted, experience level, whether you're just looking for internship, entry level, a company name, job type, and then they also give you an option, of course, to these days specify whether you're interested in remote, on-site, or hybrid. Good thing to reflect about, whether you're looking for an internship or job, whether you want it to be in person, remote, or hybrid. And then there are additional filters here, which has some of the same sections that we just reviewed. Industry, job function, title, salary, benefits. So it gets pretty specific. And then there's also a way to search easy apply. So easy apply is you can upload a copy or build a copy of your resume on LinkedIn. And you, when you have an easy apply position, because this position, if I click on it as an example, and I scroll down, let's see if I can scroll down. It says this apply button, and this might direct you to the organization website. When it's this, it leads you to their application tracking system. So the platform they use to collect applications. But when you see easy apply, you have the ability to apply for opportunities within the LinkedIn platform itself. And you can just share your profile and or resume if you have your resume uploaded there. So the pros and cons of it is, the easy apply is supposed to make it more simple and quick to apply for positions, but you have to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is fully up to date and that your resume is fully up to date on LinkedIn to apply that way. And then here is where it would take you to the organization website to apply. So that is the other way. So I think either way to apply is fine. It's just making sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date if you do use easy apply and you apply and share your profile as part of the application. And then these are job alerts. So you can set up a job alert here where you could get automatic feeds about new postings that fit your criteria. And you can also adjust those. So if I wanted to edit them, I can say frequency of job alerts, get notification via email and notification, or one or the other, get notified of similar jobs, delete the job alert. So I have all those options. My job alert was updated. Okay, so this is the resume builder there, where you can resumes you build on LinkedIn will appear there, where you can do that. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing there. Actually, I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint. And we're going to move forward a little bit, just showing a little bit more. Oops, I thought I moved forward. And showing a little bit more data. So per a survey, almost 90% of recruiters are using LinkedIn as part of their candidate search. So that's why it's so critical that you're on the platform, that you have a strong profile and a strong presence, and that you have some nice work samples that you're sharing on the profile. LinkedIn members with profile pictures are 21 times more likely to receive page views. So make sure you do have a profile picture. People like to put a face with a name. And so doesn't have to, again, be super fancy, but something simple where we can see clearly your face and you seem approachable with a smile would be fantastic. Those who post skills are 13 times more likely to have profile views. What skills could you potentially post on your profile? sorry, I had to move forward just a little bit there. So these are what I found were the top skills to include in your LinkedIn profile. So that includes analytical, related to problem solving, research, critical thinking, marketing, related to social media, public relations, media planning, business, communication, management, and information technology. So as you're brainstorming what skills to include in your profile, because you're 13 times more likely to be viewed by recruiters if you include skills, these are good skills to have. And this applies to all industries and to all academic majors. These are just skills that all employers are looking for. We also have something called AU competencies, and these are what employers are surveyed across the country, across industries, and these are the top competencies, which are very similar to skills that employers are looking for. Communication, teamwork, equity, inclusion, critical thinking, professionalism, technology, leadership, career, and self-development. And so this information was collected by National Association of Colleges Employers, which is a huge organization around the country that surveys different employers in different industries. So you see a lot of the overlap between these two: critical thinking, leadership, communication, technology. Those are all important skills. Okay, so I think I covered this. American University LinkedIn page, alumni tab, American University LinkedIn groups. You can look up specific groups by, the entire university group or by school, SBA, SOC, SIS, etc. So, and to treat it not just, as a place to put information about yourself, but also as a database to explore careers and interest areas. We reviewed the easy apply button where you apply within LinkedIn, and then apply your button you're applying to an external site, setting up job alerts, and make sure you carefully review those filters by experience level, keywords, location, and job types. And that's what will help you narrow down that job list. Of course, filters and Handshake also help you narrow down the job list. This open to work hashtag feature is good for students who want to make it public that they are looking for work. So most of you probably would be okay doing that. It's only if somebody who doesn't want their employer to know they're looking for another job that they wouldn't do this. So this is a nice option to make it easier for a recruiter to notice your profile and give you that option to do that. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate how you would do that on the LinkedIn profile itself. And I'm just going to pull myself up just to do that because I can't edit anyone else's profile. So this is where you would do it. Under your heading here, you would say open to, finding a new job. And then here's where you put specific information about what kind of job titles, location, your start date, what type of job, whether it's an internship or something else. And this is extremely helpful for recruiters because they can see exactly what the type of job you're looking for, the location you want to work in, the way in which you want to work, hybrid, remote, online, or in person. And so it's really, really helpful to them. And then here is where you would select from this drop down for the hashtag open to work photo frame to appear on your profile for it to be public. This includes recruiters and people at your current company. And then this one is for recruiters only. If you wanted to keep it a little bit more hidden, but it says, we take steps to show recruiters at your current company, though cannot guarantee complete privacy. So if you don't want that to be public information, I wouldn't do it. But if you're okay with that, I would just go ahead and do that because it can work to your advantage. As it says here, your likelihood of getting a recruiter message is increased. Then we have the option now to record a 10-second audio clip to pronounce your name. Sometimes folks have names that are difficult to say. So that's a nice feature that you can take advantage of. You can also add pronouns to your profile. It said that 70% of job seekers believe that recruiters should know their pronouns, and 72% of hiring managers agree with that. So if you want to add your pronouns, that is a great option. And then there's also now a link here to COVID resources during COVID. So I just thought I'd share that just to sort of help give you ideas of, hiring reports here, a newsletter focused on job seekers to overcome challenges they may encounter while looking for work. Just during, COVID, some news updates to read there, a workforce report. So they gather data that you can follow and newsletters that you can subscribe to get information about the job market, hiring trends, etc. So it is a great resource, because you imagine all the data they can collect with all this information that people keep fairly up to date, every time they move or make a job change. So that's a great thing to take advantage of. And then I also wanted to highlight LinkedIn Learning, which going back to my profile, LinkedIn Learning appears right here, just built into my profile, but you need to take a step to do that. So, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit here. What the steps you need to do, first of all, what is LinkedIn Learning? LinkedIn Learning is a database of video tutorials for anything you can imagine. And so it's accessible to you 24/7 and for free as an AU student. And to connect with it, first you have to log onto your portal. Then you click technology, then LinkedIn Learning. Maybe you can even go ahead and do that right now. And then it would be automatically appearing once you've signed in, logged in on your profile. And so let me just bring up an example here of what it looks like. So say I wanted to learn more about Excel. So I look up and I see all these courses, and it sorts by best match, which is probably the best way to search. All these trainings that you could basically brush up on for Excel if you're interested in building that skill set. Very good skill set. And you can look up really anything, but under browse, I can look up American University, and you can see some offices here that have pre-selected LinkedIn trainings. So say, for example, AU Career Center, I click in on that. And here are some trainings we have pre-selected: working remotely, navigating workplace challenges, workplace tech skills, etc. So you can have all kinds of fun with this. You can look up personal branding. You can look up anything yourself you're interested in learning, or you can look at some pre-selected trainings that different offices have already viewed and recommended for their student populations. So here's some of the other offices here. So this is a excuse me, wonderful, wonderful tool that you should definitely take advantage of. So I wanted to make sure that I highlighted that. And then here are some videos I have previewed that are helpful in a variety of ways related to the job search primarily, but there's a lot of other types of trainings, or, involving leadership and communication and soft skills, hard skills, anything that you can imagine. And I just wanted to highlight the link to our upcoming programs here this semester and the topics that are coming up. Basic job search skills. Everybody needs basic job search skills, resume basics, preparing for success in the future of work, preparing for interviewing, creative resumes. That's what I'm doing. Advanced job search strategies, networking, handling interviews with artificial intelligence systems. Very good to know. And you can view all these webinars on our YouTube channel 24/7. So if these times don't work for you, no worries. You can just go right on the American University Career Center YouTube channel and view them there. We are available to you for one-on-one career advising that you can schedule primarily on Handshake. We're available over email, the phone, or Zoom, and you can access many virtual tools at american.edu/career center on our website. And that is a conclusion for the LinkedIn workshop for today. And I am happy now to answer any questions. And you're welcome to put questions in the chat or unmute yourself, or whatever you feel most comfortable doing. Okay, I don't see any questions so far. Oh, what I do have a question from Fergus. What is acceptable to put as a background picture on a LinkedIn profile? That is a great question. You can put a background photo. I didn't talk about that. I think something that makes the profile look a little bit more colorful, but isn't so distracting that it would take away from the profile. So I think it could reflect something about your personality, or but still sort of maintaining a professional look. So if you're worried about that, you could share some ideas with us, and we're happy to bounce ideas off you. Or if you wanted to go ahead and post something, we can review your profile. We review LinkedIn profiles just like resumes and cover letters. And so we go through it thoroughly and make sure it looks good. So you're welcome to make an appointment with a career advisor to review your LinkedIn profile. That would be a great step, so that you have somebody else taking a look at it, just like your resume. Are you available to review? Yes, I mean, okay. Yeah, so thanks, Victor. Yes, you can make an appointment with your career advisor to review your profile. That is part of what we do, and I'm doing that every day. So go ahead and do that. We're happy to make sure that proofread it first and make sure it's not too long, and make sure you are prioritizing your sections well. You can adjust where you put different sections on the profile. That is flexible. So what you put on the top half of your profile is really, really important, because of course, the further down something is, the less likely someone is going to see it. Are there any other questions? I hope you all have a great second week of class and to see you in person soon in February. And I hope you have a good semester. Take care.